Welcome back to the Thinking Out Loud podcast. I'm your host, Coach Emery, aka Emery McMillan, and today I have with me a good friend of mine, Mr. Addison Henderson. He's been on the show before, but he's got a lot of updates, a lot of new things to talk about. Very powerful man in my community and a lot of communities all over the world. So I want to give Addison a chance to introduce himself, and I'm gonna jump in with a bunch of questions like always.
Okay, hey, what's up, y'all? I'm Addison Henderson. I'm an actor, writer, director, producer, overall artist. Been in the game for a while, and from Buffalo, New York. Me and Emery went to school together, high school, and kept in touch. And we both doing our thing, and we try to keep each other motivated, stay in touch. And so that's why I'm here today, just to kind of just talk about what's happening now.
Absolutely. So just to touch on our backstory, man, went to high school together. We made a really dope connection right before you left California, and I'm so thankful for that because it really put things in perspective for me. I had an older brother, but he was kind of like always on the go, so I really didn't have an older brother. And so for me, it was like, yo, when we connected right before you left, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna have this lifelong connection with this bro, man. And it was just like every time we connected after that, it was the same energy. So I'm appreciative of that. So tell me a little bit really quickly about your transition from Buffalo, from leaving Buffalo to like now, like, if there is a quick version of that story, like how would you tell
I can give you a quick version. I left Buffalo twice. The first time I left, basically I was 19. No, it was 20. I was 20. My best friend was murdered. Jermaine Cross. You know Jermaine. And I was going through some things, and I was like, you know what? Life is too short. You never know how many days you have, so you might as well pursue your dreams and your passion. So, literally had $130 in my pocket, had a car, I had family in Jersey. Moved to Jersey and started acting and directing school within 4 months of arriving in Jersey. And then that took me to LA when I was 21. After completing like a 2-year program, I was 22, completing a 2-year program in New York. Went to LA, stayed out there for like a year and a half, and then left, went to Miami, made some short films. I was just trying to create, went to Africa, came back to Buffalo, did The Forgotten City, which turned out being my first real professional project. Put that out there, distribution, then went to Africa, back to Africa, made a movie over there. And then went back to LA when I was like 25. So, and I've been in LA ever since. I'm not gonna date myself by telling y'all how long I've been in LA, but I've been in LA for a minute. Making connections, finding my other tribe, my other village, and doing my thing. And I've been extremely blessed to find the wherewithal and the tenacity, the intestinal fortitude to stick it out with ups and downs and success and then no success, and just keeping everything positive throughout the trials and tribulations. And God has blessed me to still be here and to be able to do my craft.
That's amazing, man. And you said a lot of numbers, right? But I'm just looking at how God is working. You left Buffalo at 20, and you were in California by 25. When you left Buffalo, you said life is too short, you may as well pursue. And you did just that. In that 5-year period of time, like Jersey acting, producing school, went to Africa, did some films, went back to Africa, came to Buffalo, went to Miami, ended up in Cali, all in 5 years.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot. Even if your resume ended there, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
When you put it like that, I never thought about it like that. But when you put it like that, that's basically what happened. I was like, honestly, I was a man on a mission. I was a man on a mission to do something with my life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And to be expressive and be a storyteller and help people in a way. You know what I mean? And and do that. My mom and my dad instilled in me that greatness lies inside of me. I heard Jay-Z say something recently, and I think he said it a long time ago, but I just saw it again. He said every human being has at something they have genius level talent, right? They just have to find what that thing is and cultivate. You know what I mean? And I'm lucky enough to have found what I'm good at, what I've become great at, and cultivate it and never turn my back on it. And it's become everything, besides my loved ones, my kids and people I love, but it's my life.
Yeah.
Creating, telling stories is my life. And just extremely blessed to find that thing.
Yeah. That's amazing, man. So obviously we're not going to talk about your age, but from 25 on, right? What did that genius level talent look like to you? Like at 25, did you know you were in the right place, or were you still kind of wondering?
By 22, I already. So there was no turning back for me. I made the decision that I'm never turning back. That's the truth.
Wow.
So by the time I was 25, I had already produced for God City and was moving into my next thing. And for me, there were moments throughout the years, into my 30s when I'm like, ups and downs, but seeing some success and this and that. Where I was like, oh, maybe I could do something else. But then, within hours, I'm like, I can't do nothing else.
Not days.
What the heck else am I gonna do? Like if I'm gonna be happy, if I'm gonna be a happy person, I'm gonna be creating. That's the reality.
Yeah.
That is the reality. I'm a creator. I'm not a you know what I mean? That's just what I do. And so I just stayed true to myself and to my heart, and I just kept going. And I knew from my early 20s what it was gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And every other thing that has happened that I've done in my life was just me getting prepared to get to this moment. You know what I mean? Because people don't know about me. In high school, I was gonna go right after high school, I was gonna go be a professional wrestler. I had already looked at the schools and all that stuff. I was gonna go do that. Then fortunately enough, Alpha State called me and said gave me a 2-year football scholarship. I went to go do that. You know what I mean? And then, I just had family that was in the business and I was always connected to it. And then when I look back on it, the whole storytelling thing was just a part of who I am. I always been this person.
Right.
And so once I decided to take the leap and to take the jump, for me, there was nothing else. I was all in.
Yeah. Dude, man, I'm thinking back right now because I remember them days when you was like, yo, I'm going wrestling. And people was like, wrestling, like, people don't do that. You be like, no, I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I remember them conversations. And you was a beast in football too. So it's like even to do the things we do now, back then, who would have really known, right? Because it's like, this is not what we were pursuing at that time. You have a long history, even beyond yourself, a long history in your life of storytelling and just being able to pass on stories in great ways just because of your lineage and your family. So you have that in you naturally. But when we're younger, we're pursuing the dreams that we think we want, right? And then we find ourselves and it's like, yo, this feels like me. I think I can do this. Not I want to do this. I want to try my hand at that, but this feels like me. And I think that once you find that thing that feels like you, putting it down is almost like giving up on yourself.
Exactly, man. And I'm a griot. You know what I mean? I'm a storyteller. That is who I am. I am that. And so that is my genius level talent. That is what God has placed inside of me. To do that I'm very passionate about. And it's so cool though to be able to do it and to do it well and to be able to have people get behind you because creating projects takes a team and being wise enough, being smart enough and having enough charisma and you know what I mean and being an adequate leader makes people want to come and work with you and do things for you. And so I will have to say that throughout my whole life, my craft, I've always been able to lead properly. And even though maybe some projects, you're growing and you're learning, you go through a maturation process to get to that level. You know what I mean? They say you got to put in 10,000 hours of work before you can reach a level of actually really being good. And I've had along the way people that got behind me and supported me. If the project turned out all right, or if it wasn't that great, everything was a learning process for me to be able to get to this point in my life. And so now I'm just like I'm at the peak where now I'm just like everything is just it's all just coming together and it's a beautiful thing. And that's just a testament to tenacity.
Yeah, man. I agree. I agree with you. And as someone who watched this process for you, cheering for you, you know what I'm saying? Constantly wanting to make sure that, yo, I always keep an ear out for what you got going on. Just because there's so many of us who find what we love, and somewhere along the line, life doesn't work the way we want it to, and a lot of those people give up. You know, a lot of those people give up, and so I always just will reach out just to make sure, like, yo, bro, I'm proud of what you're doing, keep going, because sometimes that one message changes everything. You never know. So it's like, I love the fact that now our communication is way more, ongoing, because there's days that you'll post something inspiring or something that's on your journey that aligns perfectly with something that I'm doing, and I feel that inspiration right from it, and I just like, okay, get back in the game, E, get back and do what you do.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
And you
that.
know, you need that, and you need that from your circle and from your people, man. You need to, and also just in the world generally, because for me, I am I am inspired by other people. I am inspired by watching life. I'm inspired by talking to people. I'm inspired by sitting back and just watching life unfold sometimes, right? And that stuff inspires me. Or when I see friends of mine doing really well, or they got a deal or something like that, that inspires me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Because I know that, you know, today was their day, tomorrow may be my day. And my
right,
day has come. And so the next person's day is coming. And and we all here, the people that I'm close with, like you and all my other friends, we're here to support and lend a hand and lend our mind and our brain cells as much as we can to one another, because that's what
right.
life is all about. I tell people this all the time. In order to be an effective leader, you must learn how to serve first. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It goes down to the place where Jesus was washing people's feet. It's the same concept. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? The same ideology. And that's what I try to be every day. And I may be at a certain place, and I may not want to do something, but you know what? Somebody needs my help. You know what I mean? More times than not, I'm gonna be there to lend, whether my body or my mind.
Right. And
You know?
that's honestly, that's one of the things that really makes this whole thing worth living, right? The fact that you never know what's going to be needed of you next. So I think that's amazing. I want to talk about the project you put out last year, right? The
Yeah,
first ever virtual film fest, Miami. You're right, like the first ever film
yeah,
fest
yeah,
virtual,
yeah.
and
American Black Film Festival. Yep,
come
yep.
on, man, American Black Film Festival, the first virtual one that you took home. Come on, man, like tell me about that
I won best.
experience.
Yeah, man, I won best screenplay. Listen, man. Um, when we finished the movie, we missed the Sundance deadline because
Wow.
we just was late. We couldn't get it done. We got G.O.D done with from script to screen within a matter of nine and a half months, which is
Wow.
unheard of for an indie project, right? We just happened to miss the Sundance deadline, and so my plan was always to do American Black Film Festival if we didn't do Sundance, right?
Mm.
Because I just seen all the black artists come out of there, and all people that look like me, and they were able to explode and, like, have
Yeah.
a kickoff there. And I said, well, this could be a part of my sequence if we don't do Sundance. And then we end up getting in. And I was very confident. I was like, man, we're gonna win everything. You know what I mean? We're gonna win everything. But we ended up
Right.
winning best screenplay, which was great. And I got honorable mention for director. I was nominated for everything.
Right.
And so because after Sundance, the pandemic hit, right? And then we couldn't do it live, so they did it virtual, and it ended up being amazing, man. You know what I'm saying? It ended up being amazing. It was so dope. And then from there, God has been good. The pandemic was going on, so that kind of stalled a couple things up. But then my manager, Messiah Jacobs, he actually got me with this company called Buffalo 8, based in LA.
Hmm.
They are just a dope company. They distribute movies, and they're just blowing up. They're like the new A24. They're
Wow.
just blowing up, and so they were just delighted when they love my film, and they taking it, and it's going worldwide. And the first we're very excited to get that message out there, and just this, you know what I mean? Winning best screenplay, getting my name out there, making a good film, and one that was high concept, and I didn't have like $50 million to make it though, but I used my mind and I got my people behind me and we did something that was truly incredible. You know what I'm saying? It's back in Buffalo, and Buffalo was that rustic beauty, putting that all together. And
Right.
now it has put me into other rooms. You know what I mean? And so I always try to remain humble, and I know that I'm blessed. Like my boy Joe Wilson, he's the showrunner for Equalizer show with Queen Latifah, right? And
Oh
so he
wow.
always tells me, yeah, he said, hey, one thing you gotta always know and keep this in perspective. As you out here, you get in these rooms and you pitching your projects, where you are right now, you're blessed. Everything is happening for you. It's coming together for you. But just remember that you are blessed. And I keep that in my mind as I'm doing my stuff every day. People were calling me, wanting to do deals with me. I'm doing this deal, I'm doing that deal. I got like 4 different projects in development right now, doing a deal with a studio right now for my next movie. You know what I mean? And so
Hmm.
for me, I'm a boy from Buffalo that come from the East Side. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
you know, for me to be in this moment right now, I am truly blessed. And I thank God for being the way I did grow up, because my life literally has been my canon of movies. Like everything that I'm producing now, that I'm doing now, every little bit is from my life. There's a little bit from my life, and I'm
Right.
inspired by the way I grew up and the things that I had to go through to get me here. And so I just keep remembering, hearing my dad's voice, God bless his rest his soul, hearing my
Yes.
mom's voice, and people like Joe, hearing Chad's voice talking to me. So I'm blessed, and I just keep moving forward. And I'm blessed to have the people that I had, and the people that are in my life, and the people that have gone on
Right.
and transitions out of here, that they were a part of my life, and they really gave me a lot of wisdom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's powerful, man. Let's talk
Yeah.
about so you just mentioned two really important people that I want to talk about that have passed on. Rest in peace, definitely. Your father, man. What was your father's impact like on your life? A lot of men, whether it was absence or presence, a lot of our impact comes from our involvement with our fathers. So tell me a little bit about your life with your dad, because your dad wasn't just a regular guy.
No, my dad wasn't. He had me a little later in life, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Which is nowadays is not that late. He had me when he was 46, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? People having babies at 60 and whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
But he had me a little later, but he had done a lot before he had me. He traveled the
Mhm.
world, filmed it all over the place. 1974, he bought the Michigan Street Baptist Church. It's the first church in the city of Buffalo built by blacks for blacks. And that they decided that they wanted their own establishment. And the reason being too is that it was one of the last stops on the Underground Railroad. So people used to come and hide there. Enslaved people used to come and hide there when they were on the run, trying to get into Canada. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so not only that, right next to the church was where the Niagara Frontier was built, which later became the NAACP. And
Mhm.
so my dad held that establishment up when it was crumbling from the wrecking ball. When my father had cancer and going through chemotherapy treatments, he was patching up the roof and doing all types of stuff, trying to get funding to make sure the church stood. And people from all over, from China from Spain, from all over, used to come to the church, and they still do now, and hear him talk about the experiences of the people that built that church, and then the enslaved people that had came there passing through to get to Canada. And so that's a beautiful thing. It's a museum now. My dad, he was part of the reason why it's still there today. And also adjacent right to the church is the Nash House. Now I lived in that house.
Right.
I lived in that house for my whole life. You
Right.
know what I mean? My father moved out of that house when I went to high school. I mean, when I went to college.
Right.
And so that house is now a museum. And upstairs, all the old books and everything like that. I used to rummage through that stuff and read all this amazing stuff from Dr. Nash and things like that, and rich in black culture and black history. And my father was the part of the reason why that house still stands, and why all that stuff was preserved. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean? And so, he was a protector of history, but also a great storyteller. And he used to tell me from all his world travels, and he would show me all the old film reels, and he would just be so expressive about these stories of life and spirituality, which is why part of my storytelling is always filled with hope, redemption, You know what I mean? And some action. I like dark stuff too. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that's the part of my storytelling from what I experienced growing up with my dad and everything like that. And so, with him being with him being who he is, and watching him and having to share him with with the city of Buffalo, because me and my dad be doing stuff and people will come into the church and he would have to sit and talk to them for 2 hours.
Right.
There'd be times where we'd be at the car show and somebody needs some advice, so they want some spiritual counseling. So now we're at the car show and he's doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when I look back on it, sometimes it would make me upset, like, oh man, I gotta share my data with. But when I look back on it, it's a beautiful thing to have someone that was so influential, that meant so much to so many people in the city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
That's powerful. First of all, like, you grew up in a Nash house, man.
I know, man.
Like,
I know.
I went down there not last week and the weekend before, and I was just looking at all of the stuff in the display, like the Holly stuff and just everything in there. I'm just looking at this place like, yo, we really, really as people have come a long way, and the opportunities we have, the people who had to go to that last stop on the Underground Railroad really gave a lot for us to really go hard right now.
Yeah.
And they gave a lot for us to have these opportunities that we're creating for ourselves, and the doors that we're knocking off the hinges. They gave a lot for that. And I think that it's important for people like you and I who understand that struggle to know how far we have to carry this ball before our game stops playing.
Yep. And it's and that's something, right? And that's something else, right? When you think about the history and what people had to go through for us to get to where we are, like you were saying, it's just we stand on the shoulders of those people, so now people can stand on our shoulders. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And they and so my new movie that I'm doing, and I can't really talk too much about it. It's a reimagining of a classic, and the news should be coming out pretty soon because we're working on the deal right now for it.
Okay.
It is so the story is birthed from me living in the Nash House. Let's just say that.
Wow. Okay.
That's where the story came from. And so once I'm able to talk about it some more, you're gonna be like, oh, dope. Oh, that's crazy. And when people actually see the movie and we film it, there are things in there that are so Buffalo. People gonna be like, oh my God, this dude is so Buffalo. Oh man, I can't believe he did that right there. I'll be like, yeah, I did.
Wow. That's so amazing, man. Yeah. I love that. And I think it's super cool that you are really experiencing that on that level, to be able to create from your heart, but also create from your city. And not only that, but the irony of working with a company in California named the Buffalo, was it Buffalo 24, you said?
Yeah, Buffalo 8. Buffalo 8.
Buffalo 8.
Yeah.
Dude,
they're just making G.O.D.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
What are the odds you
I know,
from
right?
Buffalo?
It's pretty wild.
Come on, man. But it's
pretty wild.
Again, there's nothing coincidental, man. This path was, as long as you follow, you know what I'm saying? The path is never going to stop being, dug for you. So that's amazing, man.
Listen, I told my mom this about a week ago. I said, Ma, everything is going too good. I'm like, it's crazy right now. Things is getting crazy. And I was like, all I got to do is just keep doing the right thing. I don't want to mess up my sequence. I just got to stay on this path. You know what I mean? I can't mess up this sequence right here, and I was like, I'm just going to pray, meditate, and think on the things of God and the reasons why I'm here, and to keep my faith strong and to know that He's going to continue to guide my path. You know what I mean? Not to get too, super, because I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I connect with different religions, but I do believe in God, and I do believe that He has guided me. Obviously we have the free will, but He has guided me down a path that I just stuck with. Absolutely.
I love that. I love that when you talk about the sequences. Last time you were here, you talked about the sequences, and that was such a powerful thing for me. Hearing you talk about it this time, I've gained a little bit more wisdom about life and about understanding. And I think that the only way you can mess up your sequence is if you tell God no.
Right. There you go.
That's the only way you can do that, because everything you told me so far, even about from leaving Buffalo to getting to, New Jersey to Miami, back to Buffalo to Africa to LA, only to meet up with a team called the Buffalo 8, it's like you're saying yes to what God has designed for your life. And it's like, yo, I'm gonna give you what you need, but I'm gonna need you to tell these stories for me.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
so
no,
it's amazing.
absolutely.
I love that, man.
You know, and it's a blessing, and it's a blessing, man, and it's a blessing that God has also surrounded me with a team of people that believe in me, like 100 million, thousand, trillion%. Like they
Right.
just got my back, and they just want to hold me up to make sure that I don't fail, because they believe in the message. They believe so strongly in what we're doing. And so I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful, because it takes a team effort. No one
Yeah.
man, no one great entity, nothing was created alone. It
Right.
always takes a team to see it through.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I'm definitely giving praise for that, man. That's amazing. And I love it. I love it because, again, as a fan of what you do, but then as a brother, it's like I'm twice as happy, right?
Thank you, man.
So the next person I want to bring up in that story you talked about was Chadwick. And rest in peace again, Chadwick. And I want to know really quickly, like, I know that you worked with him in development, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the things that you picked up from him along the lines of you working with him in development that you took with you, right? What are some of those
Mm-hmm.
things that you feel you still implement to this day?
Oh man. Um, you know, one thing about Chad, he always had a ball game. He always had a game plan. He
Mhm.
always had a game plan on how he was going to approach something, right? Even from an acting standpoint, he came in prepared, always prepared. You know, hours and hours and hours of preparation. But one thing I really take from him, and I still use to this day, is his his methodical approach to the process,
Mhm.
not rushing the process. Because when like him not rushing, right, it made everything else go faster, right? It made when he got the set, they didn't need to do 25 takes because he was so prepared, and that was his approach. Like, you don't rush me, I'm coming,
Right.
and you know what I mean. And when we get to it, when it's action, everything is going to go quicker because everybody's prepared. We got this ball game down, and
Yeah.
his intuitiveness, his knowledge, because he read a lot of books, about things, his spirituality, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, was very strong, and just his grace. When he was
Yeah.
going through something, he would still give you his all. And you can't say a lot of people are going to do that. Like, you know what I mean? He was battling cancer, and he came to Buffalo when I was filming, just to come and make sure I was good. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And just to see what was going on and to make sure everything was good and lend his advice. And he was very, very helpful, giving me notes on the script when he going through, sitting with him for hours. Him giving me notes on the script when he was going through chemotherapy. Just being a brother, man.
Right.
Just and so that's one thing you take from it. Like, no matter what you're going through, you know what I'm saying. No matter what the things that life has put against you, you still can be effective. You can still be effective, not only in your life, but in other people's lives and the people that are close to you. And that's the beautiful thing about him, man. He was present. He was so present, and that's what I try to do in my life too: is be present, be in the moment, stop rushing, stop thinking too
Yes.
far ahead, stay in the moment, because when you living in the moment, it's a beautiful thing. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing because you can just flow. You can just
Yeah.
flow. You know what I mean? And so those are really the things that I take with me, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and also when he felt strongly about something, he backed it up with really eloquent statements about why he felt strongly. His argument was sound.
Mm.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's something else. That's something else also. Doing your due diligence, making sure that when you do something, when you're saying something, it's all sound knowledge. And, like, you have a sound argument. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
that's another thing. But just always being prepared, though. And that goes back to the sound argument, being prepared. Um, and he was just the artist, bro. He was just the artist, man. One that you can't really take anything from. And also another thing too, which really affects me though, he was very particular about the things that he got involved with. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, he was very particular about what project he was going to do, what acting role he was going to take. Those things were very, very strategic. And I
Yeah.
and I And looking back on it, and when I do my stuff, that's the way I am. I'm
Yeah.
very strategic about the stories that I'm going to tell. They have to be true to heart, true to me. I'm not just going to do something for a payday. It's not going to happen because that's not why I'm creating art. I'm not
Right.
necessarily creating art for payday. Yes, we want to be paid and have nice homes. There's nothing wrong with luxury for putting in the work, but I'm not doing this to become Jeff Bezos. I'm
Right.
doing
Right.
this
Right.
to get my heart out there, to let people see stories of hope and redemption, that you can make a mistake and come back and redeem yourself and find God, or find your spiritual meaning to your life, and why are you present and why are you here on this earth. That's why I'm doing this.
I love that, man. And I think if you do it for any other reason, the impact changes. The impact changes, like you said. If he imagine him taking, so he did Black Panther, which was one of the most influential Black movies of our generation, right?
Yeah.
He also did the Jackie Robinson movie, which was another inspirational movie and impactful movie of our generation. How many roles has he taken that have impacted us as Black people, or specifically Black men, that we can really go look at his catalog and say, yo, this guy made me want to be better in every film that he did. He made me want to be better in one way or another. Even when he was a stand-up cop that was standing up to all of the corrupt police when they were,
21 Bridges.
21 Bridges. Like he was
James
still
Brown.
come on, James Brown. Like he was really, really, really living himself through his characters.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And I
And
think that it's
beautiful,
incredible, man. That's
beautiful.
incredible.
Like to watch him work. And I just remember sitting down and watching Ma Rainey with him. And
Mm.
and we watched it together, and I was just like, wow, man. I was just so like astounded, like, man, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had to call him the next day again, be like, man, that was a great, great, great performance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there are a lot of things, and there are a lot of things in the subconscious that I take with me as well, and things that I do that I can't even quantify because they just happen.
Yeah.
They just happen now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's powerful, man. What's amazing about life, I think, is that we get the opportunity, right? We have the opportunity to take all these things, right? All these great people that live on through us, right? I don't even want to say that we lost, but all these great people that live on through us, we get a chance to create this ball of energy and then hand that off and say, here to another generation of people, or here to someone else who may come along that asks for your expertise or your wisdom, right? I have a ball of knowledge in me from all the people who live on through me that I'm telling their story every time I open my mouth. And it's amazing that we're blessed enough to do that.
Yeah,
I
it
love
is,
that.
right?
I love that, man.
Yeah, and I've been saying that, that's the word. That's my thing of the day. It's a beautiful thing, man, because just waking up, being able to do what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
it's just, and talk about the things that we love, and I'm able to even just expound on my history, my life cycle up
Yeah.
until this point. You know what I mean? It's like the actual to have it to where somebody wants to talk to you about what you're going through or what you've been doing and things of that nature, man. You blessed, because some people, they just kind of go on day in and day out, and they in the matrix, man. They can't see. They can't see. They just going
Right.
about it, in a da type of way. I look at life totally different. I look at it. I look at as life as you affect change, and you know what I'm saying. And you pray, and you get in tune with the universe, so that way you can effectively accomplish the things that are in your heart that the spirit is guiding you towards.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I learned that recently. I learned some really big lessons on expectations recently. So we have our plan, and I was just sharing this with somebody. They were telling me their plan, and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a really dope plan for God to come in and fix and make it better. Because that's what happens every time. Every time when we make a plan, all it is a recipe for God to be like, oh yeah, and you can add this, and you can do this. If you don't have the recipe, God's like, what are you trying to cook? I mean, whatever you make is going to be great because you connected to me. But if you have a recipe and you have a plan, I can then come in and show you where you can improve on that plan. If you don't make the plan first, that's what you're going to do with that.
You're right. Like my girl, man, she's my partner in business too. She was also a producer on G.O.D. Leah Cole Mays.
Nice.
Yeah, she was in a movie. But sometimes I have my moments where I'm like, I want this to go like this, and she's like, hey, don't worry about how you know you're going to. You know what I mean? You know what the
Right.
end result of this thing is going to be. So
Right.
just focus on doing the things you're doing every day, and that's coming. You know it's coming because you're going towards it. You know, and
Right.
everything don't happen according to way you see things in your how you plan it out in your mind. And it's like, I gotta go like this. And so,
Right.
you know, that's been kind of one of the things too throughout my maturation process in this business and doing what I do is like, you know, you make a plan. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it over, work this plan. Like you
Right.
said, God comes through and he changes it up and it makes things better. And you're like,
Yes.
oh, it happened like this.
Right. Right. Right.
Ah, you
Yep.
know?
And I realized for me, one of the biggest things with me is I'm a Scorpio. I'm a creative, and until recently, I didn't really have a team, right? So it was me doing everything. My creative self would try to do 90 things at a time with no plan. Some of
Yeah.
them will work, maybe 15 of them will work. The other 75 will be like, yo, what about me? So, but when I
Right.
started making plans, once I committed to something, everything transitioned, and it was like, yo, we could do this. Oh, word, word. And it's like I'm hearing voices in my head talk to me in that way, right? Like, oh yeah, we could, and we could take it here. But without the plan, right? What is your subconscious mind comparing itself to? What is God even able to look at and say, okay, yeah, that's what Emery doing. I know I helped somebody get here before, and oh yeah, he could take this route. Let me have this person accidentally call him by accident this week so they can build a relationship and take this further. Like these are the things that we can do when we plan. When we don't plan, it's not
Yeah.
just about preparation. It's about presenting your version of the story to God and saying, all right, you tell me what else we gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's your pitch.
Yeah, it's your pitch to God,
It's your
right?
pitch.
Right. It's
It's
your
your pitch.
pitch to
And he
God.
like, okay,
Exactly.
cool. I like that. I like that. We're gonna do it.
Right.
We're gonna do it like this though.
We're gonna do it
I'm
like
gonna make
this
some
though.
additions to that and we're gonna do it like this. And this is how we're gonna work it out. And so, you know, that preparation, meeting the opportunity and being malleable throughout the process and learning
Mhm.
and enjoying the process, right? Enjoying the process of getting to the destination.
Right.
That is another thing that me and Chad used to always talk about. Like, you know, when you're sitting down writing, when you're doing location scouting, when you're coming up with the clutch idea, when you know what I'm saying, that's saving the script or the clutch idea that's got this scene that's like, oh man, this is great. Yes, that's the process, because
Yep.
not only that process gives you the wisdom, and that wisdom allows you not to do that thing over again. So that way, boom, you learn that. But then the next thing you get more wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so the process of life is always attaining more wisdom, right? But you never stop learning. So
Right.
even when your time is up and your number is called, you still a vessel of evolution. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. And what's crazy about what you just said, because even to continue that process, when a number is called, I think that's the ultimate learning right there, because you get to know what's next.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
yeah, nobody, we all question that,
That's
right?
true.
You
That's
get to
true. You
know
get to know
what's
what's
next.
next.
So I
Yeah.
think that's incredible, man. So real quickly, man, I want to ask you a couple quick questions, and then I want you to go and I want you to flex on everybody. I want you to tell them where to watch everything you got going on, where everything is, what's coming up, what you can talk about that's coming up. The first question I want to ask you is this: to a young person at 20 that is on the fence about their journey, how would you say they can identify what is right for them?
For me, I go with my inner being, which sometimes is my gut and is my instincts of what is right. And
Mhm.
most of the time, like that, I'm right, I'm spot on. But then some people around me will, like how you say, you give a plan and God edits your plan.
Yeah.
That happens, right? And so what happens is, if you're like, I feel it, I feel this, and you're passionate about it, don't turn your back on that, because what's
Mhm.
going to end up happening is your passion then becomes infectual, right? And once you start to infect people with your passion, then people get on board, they start to help you, right?
Right.
So if you're on the fence, don't, and if you feel passionate about something, don't be on the fence, go after it, right? Have faith, and then see how the universe works in your favor. You know what I mean? I'm a testament to that.
Yeah.
And I believe in that wholeheartedly. And obviously things get tough and you need to have certain things in life to sustain yourself. And you can have all that. But what I'm saying is that If you feel passionate about something, if you want to do it. The money will come. You may have to go get a night job or whatever it is you got to do. You know what I mean? But the money
Yeah.
will come, and the people will come to hold you up and to support you.
I love that. I love that. And I 100% agree. Go within, man. Go within and follow that gut. Follow your gut. Um, that's wow. That's the greatest advice right there.
Yeah,
It's
man.
just allow yourself to, like you said, be malleable, but at the same time, have a plan of your own and follow your gut. The next
Yep.
question I have for you is this. If you could produce a film for any actor or actress in the world right now, or any theater house, anything in that realm, what would be your ideal pitch? Like who would you say you'd want to work with?
You know what, man? The more and more as I get older and I see just the work that he does is, Denzel Washington for me.
Mm,
If I could just, work with Denzel, you know what I'm saying? I want to star in a movie with that dude. I don't even want to direct it. I want to star in a movie with that dude, and just to be able to work with him because he is so deep. And people, people have all the, they do his voice and do all that, but you ain't never seen one Denzel movie that didn't make you feel something.
right.
That didn't make you feel like, phew. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, the brother is so good, man. So great. Just the best actor of our generation, man. Like, it's, what I mean? That's for me. That's ultimately who I would want to work with if I had to choose one person to work with. You know what I mean? Just on some, just not even like, oh, an idol, just as a complete artist and everything. He's been doing it for so long and he's so great. You know what I
Right.
mean? So yeah, that's who I want to work with, man. That's who I want to work with.
That's amazing that you say that, because did you see I forgot the young man's name. He's the main character in the Wu-Tang Saga show.
I know exactly who you're talking about. I forget his name too, but I know
Did you
exactly who you're
did you
talking
see
about.
that red carpet when he was doing it, like there was the press was talking to him and he was like, oh well, I want to work with Denzel, and then Denzel walks by. Oh no, I'm sorry, they
Oh,
asked him something and he was like, oh Denzel, man, I want to work with you. He was like, I'll see you on set, and then a year or two later they end up doing a movie together.
wow. See, you know what I
So
mean?
that, yeah, so
Wouldn't that would be just amazing right there.
I'm excited for the call when you be like, yo, E.
Yo, yeah,
This movie's
I'm doing this going with Denzel, man.
right. And he told me write whatever I want.
Yep, that'd be dope, man. You know what I mean? To God, to the universe, man. God is gonna
Yes.
work and make that happen.
Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I want you to do right now, man, I want you to tell everybody where they can find every piece of work that you have, and every link that you say, I'm gonna drop in the bio for this. So don't worry if you say too many, I'll go back and get them. I want people to be able to catch up to your story up to now, so that they're caught up as things even go further for you.
Okay, well, listen, on Instagram and Twitter, it's Real Addison, right? At Real Addison, you can find me there, and I got a lot of stuff. I'm gonna be doing announcements of everything like that. Like we announced the movie The Sale, and it's gonna be worldwide in the beginning of in the first quarter of 2022. The exact date and where you can find it on the platform, it will be available soon within the coming month. And then also there's gonna be some big announcements coming this way about the next project, about 2 or 3 projects, basically, man. God is working amazingly in my life. Thank God. And so you keep up with me right there, then you're gonna be able to learn everything. Like, I got a Vimeo, I got a Venmo page and a Vimeo page, and you can just find that. That's and just type in my name, Addison Henderson, on Venmo and Vimeo. And then you can find a lot of the different works that I do. Go to addisonhenderson.com, and you can go check out my stuff at addisonhenderson.com, and you can learn a lot about me. You could just find me, man. Just find me, and then I got a lot of stuff coming, and you can watch all my old work on. You can go to my page and watch some of the old stuff that I've done and some of the new stuff and all that. But top of 2022 in the next coming months, it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be
Right.
big, man. G.O.D is going worldwide. The people that have seen it have loved it, and obviously we won an award, and we constantly, people still hitting me up about it, and like, man, it's great. And we inspired a whole city of filmmakers, just like we did back in the day with the Forgotten City. And you know what? That's all I want to keep doing. Keep inspiring. Keep doing my thing. Check me out, Real Addison, on Instagram and Twitter, and you can keep up with me there. And 2022 is a big year, and where everybody's excited because I'm coming back to Buffalo to shoot another movie.
Oh man. So I love that, bro. I'm excited about that. So AddisonHenderson.com, Real Addison on Twitter and Instagram, and then Vimeo, look for Addison Henderson. Check this guy out, man, because right now is not even doing it justice, right? This conversation we having is cool, but this dude gets in character, multiple characters. He gets in director mode, and you get to see both sides of this guy. So right now you're watching the interview, but when you watch the film, you get to see him in character mode. You get to see him in panic mode, excited mode, all these modes you get to see this guy in, and you get to understand that art is a imitation of life. And this guy right here is a true example of that. So I'm glad you took the time out to speak to me today, man. I appreciate you. I'm excited for what you got coming up, because I just know it's going to be so divine, and it's going to fall right into everything that you took a leap of faith with when you were 20. All of that is coming full circle right now. So congratulations to you in advance for everything you got going on, brother.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Thank you, Emery, man. Been boys for a minute, dog. A long time. Like I said, man. I'm not going to date myself by telling everybody how long we've been friends. But you know what? Dog, we doing it. We here.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. I will say we've been cool since Bonneville's was cool. We've been cool since Bonneville's was in style. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Word, man. But I appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you again, for taking the time. For everybody watching, go follow this man. And thank you for, just being here with us. As always, follow your heart, follow your passion, follow your gut, and make a plan. And once you make that plan, allow God to come in and move things around the way he sees it from the top view. You see it because you're in it. So when God is shifting your plan, don't question that. Don't question that. Just keep saying yes and proceed. And I promise it'll end up better than whatever you thought you could make.
Amen. Amen to that, bro.
Thank you, man. So as always, everybody, have a dope day. Be dope and be great. Peace.
Peace.